Hello there, and welcome to the JobStreet Quality Connections podcast, sharing advice from top employers to help guide you on your job hunting journey. My name is Anita Wu, and I've had several roles from publishing to broadcasting, and I'm here to find out what advice and what tips and what exactly these top employers are looking for in the people that they hire. Today, we're chatting with Sandy Huang of Lazada, who is Regional Head of Fulfilment BPO. Welcome to the show, Sandy.
Hi.
Hi. All right, so let's get to know you a little bit. Can you tell us, first and foremost, what that means, your title, Regional Head of Fulfillment BPO?
Okay, so basically I'm part of the Lazada logistics arm of the business, and fulfillment actually means like warehousing. So BPO actually stands for Business Process Owners. So in a nutshell, we own the processes of the fulfillment business. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And is this a common thing for all e-commerce businesses?
I believe that in every e-commerce business, there will be some processes that a team would own. So they might name it differently, but within Lazada Logistics, we name it as so. So, yeah.
Good to know. All right. So you've been with the company for almost 2 years now. Can you tell us how you got there and what brought you to this position?
Okay. So for myself, right, I got here kind of unplanned. In the beginning, I actually was not really I would say I did not really have an ambitious goal to be someone that would lead others or be someone that would be leading a team. So when I started out 20 years ago in my career, right, I just wanted to do my job well. But then as I got along and I realized that was about a decade back, I realized that I actually got much better at my job. I was in shipping back then. So I got much better at my job, and I realized that a lot of people, like my peers, were actually looking for me for advice and also to brainstorm ideas. And my manager was also like giving me more and more responsibilities. I realized that I could actually take up a new challenge, which is to actually lead others. So that was something that I told my manager back then. And like, I never looked back ever since. I enjoyed myself, coaching people and helping people do better and like grow. And I would say that getting to Lazada is because I have really good mentors that help me along the way. So like I mentioned I was in shipping, right? So I was actually in shipping through different departments for 10 years. And that organization was really a really good organization, I would say. But what I realized as well is that because the world is actually moving so fast, and I see that technology companies are like booming and everything, right? So I was thinking, okay, I need to take a leap of faith and join a startup. So I actually went and joined a startup company. I actually did give up some opportunities like going overseas for work, as well as some bonuses. But I felt that it is the price to pay in order to actually get into a new industry, right? So when I entered the startup, it was an American company. I had the opportunity to do everything and anything. So I actually learned a lot, like from product management to really operations. It was really a crash course. And that was when eventually when Lazada had a role, the hiring manager actually reached out to me and say, are you interested? We have something here, probably is something they'll be interested to pursue. And I just went ahead.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, it sounded like a real crash course, but you said something there which was quite interesting, which was that you had gone to your manager upon realizing that you had all these responsibilities. It wasn't top down. You basically said, hey, look, I can handle this.
Yeah.
Right. What else had helped you in that journey?
I think, to be completely honest, right, for me, I actually look at my managers as well as even like higher management people or even peers from other departments. I actually spot the people that have like some positive competencies. Say, for example, I'm not very good at communication. to be completely honest. I'm still learning.
I don't see a problem right now.
Yeah, I'm still learning. Trust me, I'm brushing up my skills. So like this is something that I actually do observe other people. I actually do approach people who I respect and I get them to give me tips and advice. So a lot of the roles that I've been in my career journey is myself approaching the hiring manager or making the effort to actually have coffee or tea with them to understand a little bit more about how do they actually overcome challenges. So I do make an effort to at least contact one or two people of such in every month, I would say.
Every month?
Yeah.
Wow.
I do make an effort to, this is like, I would say, to grow for personal growth. And I also would say that it's not only limited to people of higher management, it's also across peers, right? So among all of us, we actually do have our own strengths and weaknesses. And those people that like can be very concise in communication, I would always learn from them. Like how do they actually find those words to make their communication so clear? I think that's something that I would religiously do up to today.
Can you share with us some of the biggest lessons you've learned throughout your career through mistakes, inevitably, or shortcomings?
Yeah. So honestly, when I was much younger in my career journey, I do occasionally make small little mistakes, like careless mistakes, like maybe having a certain cell in an Excel, like wrongly formatted and things like that. So what I learned was to do sanity checks. But those were minor mistakes, I would say, and it's not really impactful. But what I learned out of those was always to double check your work, especially when it's important. And don't spend too much time thinking into the details and always continuously try to do things step by step. And when you get ahead, you see the light at the end of the tunnel really much easier. So you need to take the first step. But I think what really sets, like, it's really memorable for me when it comes to a mistake that I made was when I was actually a leader of others. I was already a manager, and it was my first 2 years as a management role. I was leading a team of 8, and I remembered this lady that she was a fresh grad. So she just came out fresh from school, and she was actually, I would say, still learning how to be part of the organization. And back then, it was a customer service role, and I was leading the customer service team. And it was really a very like high pressure cooker kind of a role because the calls do come in quite frequently, and there are angry customers as well. So back then, our office was also quite like open and big, and there were always quite a lot of top leaders that come down from our. So our head office was Copenhagen, so they will all fly down to like Singapore, and they will have meetings, and there will be some leaders that will be walking around.
No pressure at all.
Yeah, so there was one incident where this lady who was the fresh grad, right? She just got off a phone with a customer, and she was like, I would say, bitching about the customer, but it was more of like letting go steam, right? Because you're just really stressed out, right? But I think when she did that, she wasn't really aware of her surroundings. So she was bitching. Can I say bitching?
Yeah.
Okay. So she was. Yeah. Okay. So she was bitching while this leader just happened to walk past, and he took like a double take. So I knew, oh my God, like there was something that he spotted, and there's probably going to be some feedback that's going to come somewhere, somewhere to me, right? So I think the mistake I made was because I actually told her that she should stop it, but I told her through the office communicator instead of like maybe, can I have a word with you, and then like go to a meeting room, right? I didn't do that. I just did it over office communicator. Why I did that was because I thought that it was like, it's always best to do it like immediately and fast. And because I'm really busy, I just want to get it done first. But wow, that was horrible. So what happened was that she started arguing with me over Office Communicator, and then she just left the office crying. And I had to go downstairs to actually speak with her and, like, of course, let her go home and think about things. And I realized that how I dealt with the matter was not professional at all. So I think, right, that is something that when it comes to being a leader of others, everyone is different. And even everyone's motivation is different. Some people work for money, some people work for passion. I don't know, right? So, of job fulfillment, right? So,
what do you work for, Sandy?
I want to have fun at work. I want to enjoy working with my colleagues. So that's me. And of course, it has to pay the bills.
Yes,
that's important.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So actually, I think for me, that was the biggest takeaway and the biggest mistake I felt that I ever made in my career. And it's something that does affect me a lot. But the good thing is that, like this lady right now, we are actually like friends. We still keep in contact. We actually contact each other. We come out for dinner on our birthdays. So, and we talk about this and we will laugh about it. And I learned from her. This is where I actually learned from the people from my team. I learned how to be a better leader.
It's absolutely so important. I agree, to be able to take on the reflections of the experiences, whether it comes from juniors or seniors. And I think your leadership style is definitely an embodiment of that. I like the Sandy Huang brand.
Thank you.
Can you tell us about a funny story that might have happened, like a rookie mistake you made that, it could be a small thing, which, you obviously had to learn from as well, but like a silly mistake, perhaps?
A silly mistake. I think one of the silliest mistakes I've done is that I actually, so it was my first day in the shipping company I was in. So it's actually it's a big brand. It's the largest shipping company in the world. And like everyone was really professional. I do not know whether it was a mistake, but I remember it was the day that I actually went and signed the letter of offer. So I was in this room full of people who are on the first day as well. And then I actually let out a rip.
Wow!
Yes, and I started laughing. And everyone else did not laugh. And I was like, oh my God, I want to dig a hole in the ground and hide myself. And that was like my first day.
Yeah.
My mistake is I probably should have not drank anything gassy before such. I'm not sure, right? But these are the things that really stick in my mind. I think this is something that, like only rookies would do, I guess.
To be honest, our bodies work in funny ways, and it's not always that you get to control it. If there's one thing that you can't control, is exactly those systems. And and honestly, I think it's wonderful that you were able to laugh at the moment, laugh at yourself.
Yeah.
What else would you say is a good way to come back from a mistake, whether it's something as silly as that or maybe a bigger mistake? What's some of your advice as to how to come back and how to remedy a mistake?
Basically, the first thing, you need to really own up and you need to really acknowledge the mistake. So after you own up, right, you also need to understand what impact it has created because of your mistake, and then propose what you will actually do to rectify the situation. And then most importantly, I think the last step that a lot of people miss out is to really self-reflect, because that is how you will actually know, given the similar situation that you probably will encounter in the future, is something you will not repeat again. Yeah.
I like that. It's a very solid 4-part plan to own up, realize the impact of those actions, to suggest a solution, and then to self-reflect so that it doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I think we can apply that to many aspects of our lives, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Sandy. That was gold.
Yeah.
Okay. What other qualities do you look for when you're hiring in a team? Because I think that's what a lot of job seekers are wondering about.
Yeah, so for myself, right, what I actually really look at is that person's enthusiasm and passion. So this person needs to like, some people when you talk to them, you see the fire in their eyes, or there's this, it's like the energy level is higher and they're actually excited when they're talking about what they do, right? Or they're talking about their past experience. It's not rehearsed. So I actually look for that enthusiasm because I think these people who are actually willing to put in the extra effort to do things right, they actually understand their work and they would feel like more like self-fulfilled, like a sense of fulfillment when they actually achieve something. I think that is what's really important. One other thing I also look for is in terms of stakeholder management, especially in terms of how they communicate, because I think a lot of times people get misunderstood. The intention that the person actually want to like say something, you if you don't communicate it well, usually you get misunderstood. So if someone who under communicates or is really, really very quiet, I tend to not select the person given the role. But of course, it depends on the role that you're applying for. If you're more like doing more of an individual contributor that needs programming and things like that, you don't really need a lot of stakeholder management, then that is something that it's different, right? So this is
That
more
makes
of
sense.
my personal preference when it comes to the current role that I'm hiring for. Yeah. Yeah.
Considering that you came from quite a diverse background, as in like, prior to shipping, even you were in other industries, right?
Correct.
Do you look for diversity in your hiring?
Oh, I definitely look for diversity. I am someone that believes in diversity. I think if you looked at my LinkedIn profile, I think I did put something like that. I believe in diversity. I always think that it's always good to have a diverse group so that we balance out each other, we learn from each other. If we have everyone of the same, then it's really hard to bring the team to the next level. I think what is very important is that we need to always constantly improve. We cannot be like staying at the same, like on the same spot, running on the same spot, like in the comfort zone.
Level, comfort zones.
It's really fast. Like in a snap of fingers, a decade is gone. You realize that you're super far behind. So yeah, I would always want to make sure that there's diversity to balance things out, and everyone needs to pull their weight. Yeah.
I think it's one of Lazada's values, right? Change is the only constant.
Yeah, I love that value. I love it because change management is one of the toughest things in any organization, and I think because it's Lazada's value, like it's just a given. We have to take change professionally. We have to collaborate and get towards the next level. Like we don't complain, because if we don't change, it also means that we will not improve as quickly as we want to. Yeah.
Now, what's the advice that you would give for two groups of applicants? Job seekers who are just early on in their career, and also for those who are a little bit later on in their career who may or may not have been affected by the pandemic.
I see. Okay, so for the job seekers that is like starting out their career, I would say that you need to first understand, like kind of set a bit of your own career goals, like what do you actually like to do. Do research on the companies that you're interested in. And I would say you really need to make sure that like manage your expectations in the sense that you need to know what you can offer to the organization, and at the same time, what can organization offer you in terms of your own personal growth? Because I think it works both ways.
Yeah.
Right. Often we always think about, I want to join this organization where I like the job title. It sounds fancy, right? Or, the pay is like a few $100s more than the other company that I probably would enjoy better, but I'll go for the one with the higher salary. But ultimately, I think you need to really understand what you really want out of your career goals. Yeah. Short-term goals, mid-term goals. I think right now you just kind of go for short to mid-term goals. It's enough.
How do you suss out a company's... So a company can say these are our core values and these are our corporate visions or vision.
Yeah.
But how do you really suss out what the real corporate culture of a company is like?
This is what I usually do. So I network a lot. Not really as much as I want to nowadays, but I do network. And usually within your network or your second degree network, you definitely know people that is working in the organization that you are interested to join. Even if you do not know, I think there's also some information that you can go on social platforms to take a look, but take everything with a pinch of salt, right? But I think most important is that understand through your network, right? And understand, ask the questions, meaningful questions like what is the company culture like? What are they like? How do they actually, do they respect each other? I think it's very important. How,
Right.
how they actually work, right? So I think this is something that is super important. I think the reason why I say this is because when I was really young, when I was still schooling, I worked in a company before that is a Japanese company, and I was working as a receptionist, and I felt that the culture was very unhealthy because the managers or the leaders actually constantly shout at their employees, and it was like it's always like demanding, I tell you this. And I think the employees just go to work and just drag their feet to work, right? And everyone just do the bare minimum. And I think it's a very toxic culture because in the pantry people will start bitching.
Yes.
It's horrible. So I will never want to work for a company like that. I think that is really important. It's for your own mental well-being as well. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's important. And then for the people who are like kind of maybe the ones that got affected during this COVID, this pandemic, about their careers, right? I think the most important thing is that you need to network regularly, right? And you need to be afraid. You cannot be afraid to take up new challenges. So you need to also learn how to pick up new skills. So first, you need to see like when you network, right? You actually need to have meaningful conversations. Like make sure that you are able to show the value you want to add to the organization that you're interested in. And then if you identify a gap, like say for example, if you are actually speaking to multiple people and you realize that most of the rejections come because you are lacking in a certain element, any small element, right? Do those small simple steps, right? You can read a book, you can go online and watch a video. Small simple steps to brush things up. And I think Singapore government also do quite a lot of subsidy, like we have all the courses, right? So
Wow.
these things we can actually, just continuously improve yourself, put yourself out there, create a LinkedIn profile or something. I don't know, just put yourself out there, make yourself let people find you as well, make yourself visible. So I think this is super important, and you need to get out of a comfort zone. Don't give up. I think that's very important. Yeah.
Yes, that's been quite a resonant, consistent message throughout our episodes so far.
Mm.
And I think it's fantastic that you've so eloquently put it, really. Thank you so much for that advice. And thank you so much for your sharings. It's been wonderful chatting with you today, Sandy.
Thanks, Anita. It's great speaking to you as well.
Yeah, I can see a lot of passion in what you do, and it's amazing because you've achieved so much at what it seemingly seems young. I'm not going to assume your age, but it sounds like you've covered a lot of ground in your professional experience in a short
Yeah.
time.
I actually really enjoy what I'm doing, and I actually love the people that I work with. Yeah, so I don't drag my feet to work every day. I think that's really important. I get up happy.
That is key. I mean,
Yeah.
after all, we spend so much of our waking hours at a job. So
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the JobStreet Quality Connections podcast. And don't forget to check out our other episodes too. While you're at it, download the JobStreet app to find out the easiest and fastest way to search for the most jobs. With that, I'm Anita Wu. Thank you for listening.